After nearly 2 months of repairs, the West Point treatment plant in Seattle is finally back to full operations.
But in February, heavy rains flooded the treatment plant, shutting down critical systems, causing untreated sewage to pour into Puget Sound.
Now, officials say they were able to repair enough systems to run the plant at limited capacity. But last week, they reported all equipment is back up and running.
The next step is making sure the repaired equipment is stable so that nothing like this happens again. Oh, but this morning, there is a big front page story in the Seattle Times. A big investigation of what led up to this. Lynda V, part of the team that really put together this investigation. Briefly recap some of the crazy things you uncovered.
So some of the things that really surprised us was that the heart of this disaster was a very simple device, no more complicated than what's at the back of your toilet tank, costs about $200. And they have been having trouble with this device since at least the year 2000. Sticking, jamming, malfunctioning, causing problems at this plant. And yet, they weren't replaced, nor did they change to a different type of device in order to prevent this very disaster that it was really years in the making. The other thing we learned was that during the event itself, the communication was so poor that the operator of the plant did not even know the flood was happening. The people who were trying to deal with it in the moment thought he knew. It wasn't until they actually came into the control room that he realized how bad the flood was. And by that time, it was way too late for the plant.
People could have died, you say?
People absolutely could have died. If this had happened during the daytime when people are in these tunnels that flooded with filthy water 12 feet up, they would have died.
This is an issue of trust when I think about this. When I think about it's as easy as a fixing the toilet kind of fix.
Right.
That was we knew about it 17 years ago. Do you think there's an issue of trust here?
I think there's a real issue of accountability. We pay among the highest water and sewer rates anywhere in the country, and we absolutely should expect the best. We live right here by Puget Sound, and the only reason and only way we can do that is if we have excellent, reliable wastewater treatment. And so there's going to be a lot more to be said about this disaster before it's all over. And I really think that citizens need to hold King County government accountable for what happened and being sure that it never, ever happens again.
Where do you see this going next? Now that you've published this piece, a lot of eyes are going to be on it. Where do you see things moving in the right direction? Hopefully changes will be made, are being made.
Well, we still need to get to full recovery at the plant. The plant is still not meeting permit. The mechanical systems are back after an extraordinary, heroic repair effort that, by the way, could cost more than $25 million.
Oh my gosh.
But the biological systems still are not on their feet. We're spending as much as $1,100 per truckload, 20 truckloads a day, taking sludge to South Plant because the plant can't process it. And there's even more going into Puget Sound. So number one, job one, get up to state standard at this plant, which is the largest in the region, the largest of its type on the West Coast. So number one, get the plant working again. Number two, what is it going to take to make sure this absolutely never happens again? And how much, by the way, will the insurer cover? The county seems very, very confident that this is a completely covered event. I don't know. I guess we'll see about that. And I'm also very interested to hear what kind of changes in training are going to happen, what kind of changes at the top that might need to happen, what will go on to make sure that this really can never happen again.
Lynda V, investigative reporter, environmental reporter at the Seattle Times. This story is worth a read this morning. You should pick up the paper or click on seattletimes.com. This is great reporting. We know you'll stay on top of it. I'm sure you'll be back here to tell us what you find. Thank you for being here this morning.
Thank you.